Welcome to Talking Technology with VI Labs. At VI Labs, we believe technology is the single greatest enabler for people with sight loss and all disabilities. If you're looking for the latest news and conversation on tech from a more accessible perspective, you've come to the right place.
Yes, indeed you have. Hello and welcome to Talking Technology with VI Labs, episode number 53, St. Patrick's Day has been and gone. We are still coming to you all the way from Ireland. Maybe you're in Ireland, maybe you're listening around the world though. So if you are, no matter where you are in the world, hope you enjoyed St. Patrick's Day. And we had a great long weekend. We didn't have any work yesterday, which was really cool. We were able to put the feet up and relax, don't you know? And it wasn't just St. Patrick that had us celebrating over the weekend, of course, because if you are a fan of Dancing with the Stars, you will have seen that Jason Smith became the first ever visually impaired winner of Dancing with the Stars Ireland. How cool is that? He's been flying the flag for visually impaired people on the show over the last 11 weeks and really done it with absolute class and style, it must be said. An amazing representation for people who are visually impaired and blind from both Jason Smith and his partner Karen Byrne. I actually, you might not have known this, but I actually tried dancing myself back in my youth. I tried hip hop of all things, but I can assure you that I was absolutely terrible. So I've got to hand it to Jason. It's an incredible skill. And he deserves huge credit for it. So well done to Jason, our winner of Dancing with the Stars. Many congratulations to him. But now it's time to get down to business. It's Talking Technology time, where we talk all things the world of technology, whether it's smartphones, smart speakers. We talk about all of it, and we've got a great show coming up for you today. We're going to be taking a look at a really cool smart TV from Samsung. We'll be taking a look at that with Joe in just a few minutes. We'll be talking about the CSUN Assistive Technology Conference later on in the show, and tech news as well. We'll be talking about Siri Shortcuts, Be My Eyes. They've got some new features in Be My Eyes yet again. And we will also be talking about a really cool research project taking place around audio description. So loads to come in the show, and we would absolutely love for you to join the conversation and get in touch with us. And if you want to do exactly that, there are a few ways that you can do so. Here is how you can get in touch. So, if you want to join the conversation, there are a few ways to do it. You can send us an email to content@vi.ie. That's content@vi.ie if you want to get in touch the old-fashioned way through the old email. Or if you want, you can send us a WhatsApp voice note. Don't call, don't use messages, don't use anything other than WhatsApp voice notes. Not WhatsApp voice calls, none of that. WhatsApp voice notes to 086 199 0011. That's 086 199 0011. We would absolutely love to hear from you. You can share your thoughts on maybe some of our tech news. You can tell us about a new piece of technology that you've tried. And we'd absolutely love to hear from you. That's the way that you can join the conversation. Content@vi.ie, or send us a WhatsApp voice note 086 199 0011. Now, let's move on and listen to some of the voice notes that you've been sending in over the last little while then, shall we? We've had a few voice notes in, and what good is it receiving voice notes if you're not willing to share them? So, joining me to listen to some of your voice notes and talk about some of the stuff that's been happening over the last little couple of weeks, I am joined by the one and only Mr. Joe Lanigan from Kilkenny. Hello, Joe.
Hi, David. How are you?
Not bad at all. How are you keeping? Did you watch Dancing with the Stars the other night, Joe?
I did. It was excellent. And I was really impressed with Jason and Karen. And actually, I was especially impressed with Karen. To wear a blindfold for half of the dance was an amazing shared experience.
It's absolutely true. We were saying at home, so for those who haven't seen it, Karen wore, as Joe said, a blindfold for part of her performance. And we were chatting about it at home. Obviously, we were watching it. And it was one of these things we were saying that, like, that's a huge thing for her, even, you know, just even reputation wise and stuff like that. It's really cool just to have such confidence and be willing to do that on national television. It's great, you know, to show that vulnerability too, isn't it?
Exactly. And if anything, it boosted her reputation to bring somebody with a vision impairment along with her and teach him all those steps and different dances and actually win the final with Jason. It was an amazing achievement.
Absolutely incredible. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, you can go as well to the Vision Sports Ireland website. There's a lot of really cool stuff there about Dancing with the Stars. But Joe, on the technology front, we have voice notes to listen to. So we got a few voice notes in over the last little while. So shall we get down to business and listen to some voice notes?
Yeah, go ahead.
So our first voice note this week is in from Cian.
Hi, Talking Technology. It's Cian here. I just want to start off by saying a big congratulations to making it to your big 5-1. Can't believe you've been doing the podcast for almost probably over 2 years or something now, is it? But I just have a question about two things, actually. So, first question is about the Gasori talking air fryer. Where can I get that, and how much is it? Like, how much does it cost? And the second thing about the InVision glasses, is there a place where I can get a sample of those and try them out and see what they're like before I make a decision if I ever consider on getting them? Could you let me know about this in your next episode? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cian, for getting in touch. And those are both brilliant questions. And Joe, you're the one who's been trying out the Kasori air fryer. And we'll talk about the Cobalt one as well, because there are two different ones that we've showed off. There's the Kasori Smart air fryer. That one doesn't talk, but you can control it with an app. And there's also the Cobalt Speechmaster talking air fryer. But Joe, do you want to start with the one you have? This was the Kasori one. So this was the one in the app.
Yeah, the Kasori Smart 5.5 litre air fryer. It's actually a great machine. Nice big drawer on it, and you can control it with the VSync app and VoiceOver on your phone, or if you like to use Zoom or large print, you also have that option. But we tested this out. We found it really good, and yourself and JP can vouch for. We tried little mini pizzas in it one day, and they actually tasted very
were
good.
All right.
Freezer pizzas, and done a really good job. 6-7 minutes in the air fryer, and mini pizzas were really nice. So it's easy enough to use once you are a proficient user of VoiceOver, and this is it's actually on sale now. Cian was looking for the price. It's on sale now for £70, so that converts into €79 from Amazon.co.uk, and it was something like €139 or something like that, David, and it was even more before. So it was 139 previously, 159, but now €79, which is a bargain.
That's a fine drop, isn't it?
An air fryer like that. Yeah, it's a good quality machine, and it cooks food really well. And I would actually recommend it. It's not a dual drawer one or anything like that, but you can get separators if you want to separate food, and you can get liners for them and all that kind of stuff. And you get a cookbook inside, which I didn't use, but it cooks all your normal foods in probably half the time of a normal oven. And I think it was really good, David. So, but just to give the heads up, we will have a YouTube video about this air fryer soon in the next month or so, and keep your eyes peeled for that.
Absolutely. A great little product. And I can assure, and JP, you can back me up on this, I think JP is there in the background, that the pizzas were indeed fantastic.
Oh, they were top notch, David.
Top notch.
I would back up yourself and Joe on that. I think it's great, as Joe pointed out, great reduction on that particular device at the moment. So if anyone is interested, I think it would be a good option. And mentioning the VSync app that Joe talked about there, it'll feature the demonstration that we'll be releasing soon. So it's a nice accessible air fryer. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you can't wait, there is a clip from our Talking Technology podcast where Joe demoed that, available on the VI Labs YouTube channel already. You can just search VI Labs accessibility to find that, and that will be there too. The other air fryer that we talked about in recent times was the Cobalt talking air fryer. So that one, it's totally self-voicing, doesn't connect to an app or anything. But that one to import and after all of the customs and everything into Ireland, that came in for me at around 160 quid in and about. It's £99. But when you add in the shipping and the translation to euro and the customs on top of that, the end cost came in at around 160 quid is what the bill was on that one. Your other question was on the Envision glasses. If you want a demo of those, or if anyone wants a demo of those, indeed, do send us an email to labs@vi.ie and we can look at getting that set up for you. So that's the normal Labs help desk email address, labs@vi.ie.
David, they're not as much as a bargain as the air fryer, unfortunately, the Envision glasses. So
the Envision glasses are
keep your brace
pricey.
yourself.
Yeah, they're pricey yokes. I think they're upwards of I think they're starting at $2.5 grand or something insane like that. They're pricey yokes, but yeah, they are really cool, but also really pricey, for sure. So thanks so much, Cian, for getting in touch. Really appreciate your questions. And someone else who had questions sent us this voice note.
Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Raheem Nazarali here. Just have a question for you about smart technology in the home. I'm getting a renovation done on my house starting the end of April, hopefully. And I'm just inquiring about accessible appliances for the home, especially in the kitchen, such as washing machines, dishwashers, cookers, anything else you can think of, I suppose, in the kitchen area, and any other parts of the house. And then also I've heard of accessible heating systems. I am getting an upgraded system, probably going for the combi boiler, but I've heard there's systems such as the Hive, and I think there's Climote is another one. Just again, your thoughts on those. Enjoying the podcast, very informative. Thanks for the information. Keep up the great work.
Thanks so much, Raheem. Really appreciate that. Joe, have you got any smart tech in the kitchen? Any smart? Have you? Don't tell me now you have that $3 grand fancy fridge with the screen on it and stuff, do you?
No, David. I didn't go as far as getting the fridge. Fridges. If you see a point in getting a fridge that has smart technology in it, go ahead. I wouldn't put anybody off it.
Absolutely.
I know they say, look, you can look at your fridge when you're out in the shop and maybe it might save you some money, but I couldn't see it on my camera anyway, so it's not going to be much use to me. But you could check the contents and see is there anything left in the fridge. I think that's the idea of it. But fridges. Look, I suppose if you're getting an appliance for your home and you're doing a full renovation, it's probably, if you can afford it, it's probably best to go for the best possible products you can afford.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
More than likely you will get, if you pay a premium price, you will get ones with the smart technology. So if you're checking for appliances, see do they have the badge on them, works with Google or works with Amazon Alexa or whatever other, or Google or Home Kit will say, the Apple Home Kit. So if they have them stickers on it, that they're the ones to go for. For example, I have a Samsung smart washing machine, and that works with Samsung Smart Things. So I think the thing to look out for is make sure the app that the product works for is accessible, first of all. So if the app is accessible and you do get connected to the Wi-Fi and all linked up, there is 99% chance you're going to be able to work the machine. And the other possibility is you might be able to connect it to a smart speaker, which means you could work the appliance with a voice command. So you could say start or stop to your smart speaker, and at least you'll be able to start or stop it. Or there might be, even with Siri, there might be a Siri shortcut you can set up to start an appliance or stop an appliance. But the main thing is, I suppose, is to find the app out there that works with it. In my experience, the SmartThings app works fairly well 95% of the time. There was occasions where they updated the app and it broke something, and then I'd have to send them a message with some other vision impaired users, and in the next update they would have fixed the app. But at the moment the app is working good with the washing machine, and I find that works well. There is Samsung dryers out there as well that you can that you can get that would work with SmartThings. Miele have a washing machine out there called the Guideline. I think it's only for sale in Great Britain at the moment because RNIB helped them design it. But I'm sure there would be a way of getting it over this country. But it is a premium machine, and you're talking between 900 and 1,200 euros. There is also dishwashers out there. The reason you would have these accessible or smart devices is so you can access all the programs inside them. Like, for example, with the washing machine, I can access the temperature, so I could set it to 40 degrees, and then I can pick whatever type of wash I wanted, whether it's cotton, hand wash, or maybe bedclothes or jeans. There's all them different cycles on it. So I can pick those, and then I can click start, and the time will come up on my screen as well. It'll say it's going to take 2 hours, 25 minutes, and at the end I'll get a notification to say it's finished. And also, if you're away from home, you could leave your washing in the machine. Nobody likes to leave the washing machine with stuff in it for 6 to 12 hours, but you can start the machine before you get home from your app, and then by the time you get home, it'll be nearly finished, and then you can hang it down the line or put in the dryer or whatever you please, and he also mentioned there, Raheem, he mentioned congratulations actually on getting your renovation. I wish you the best of luck in it. But he also mentioned the heating system. So heating is a big thing. There's loads of different options out there. Whatever people have, air to heat pumps and all that. But I think he mentioned combi boiler. So it sounds like he'd have oil or gas. And the options he's looking at there is the Hive system, which is accessible. The app is really good. There's also an Apple Watch app, which even makes it even more basic. It's just really an on and off. And you can also connect the app to your smart speaker. So you can say the A word followed by boost the heating upstairs, or boost the heating downstairs, or boost the hot water. That's my commands I mostly use. So the other options out there are Nest. Nest have a thermostat that you can, and heating controls that you can put in. And there's an Irish company out there which are really good. I know a couple of service users that have had a good experience with an Irish company called Ember, EMBER, as far as I remember. But if you Google Ember smart heating controls, they will pop up. I think they're really from Cork, and they will send out a consultant and help you get your heating controls off the ground, put it that way.
There's also the, and I don't know, is it across the entire range? And I've never tried them myself, but I've heard relatively good things as well about the Ecobee range of products, because I think, and you need to double check this, but I think those can link in directly with HomeKit. So you can control those directly with something like Siri or anything like that, and that might make things a little easier for you. You do kind of have to be careful with that you're not missing out on something like Alexa support if that was something that you needed, but there is good options out there, so absolutely hope that this information was of some help. The only thing I'd add on the kitchen front is I really wish, Joe, that the Amazon Smart Microwave came to Ireland. This existed in the US years ago, and it was actually relatively expensive. They were only like 50 or 60 quid, but you could control every feature on the microwave from your smart speaker, and you could do basically anything. You just say, hey, Lady A, start the microwave for 1 minute or whatever, and it would just do it. And I think that's so cool, but it never came to Ireland, unfortunately.
It is so cool. But I think microwaves are starting to trend out at the moment, if you know what I mean, because the air fryers now are so popular, and some air fryers have a reheat function. And I did miss the opportunity to mention cookers. There is cooking ovens out there from Samsung as well, and other companies. I keep mentioning Samsung because I know SmartThings works, but I'm sure at this stage there is apps out there from other companies like Neff and maybe Whirlpool and those kind of companies, and Miele, of course. But the Samsung cooker, it has a built-in air fryer, so you'd have a bigger air fryer and also a normal oven inside. And with many different functions that you can access through an app. Like, so, I mean, if you're shopping for a microwave, yeah, you could keep it simple, or you could look for one that has accessibility options. But I think microwaves are on the downtrend, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I think, yeah, in many respects, the air fryer is so much more versatile, isn't it? It's just a better kind of, you can do more in it. And a microwave certainly has, a purpose. Like, you can't do, a quick cup of, I know a lot of kids in particular like the hot milk at bedtime and stuff like that. You can't do that as easily in an air fryer. Wouldn't really be recommended, but
No.
The air fryer does certainly have its purposes for sure.
There is people out there that have boiled eggs in an air fryer, believe it or not. It's a thing, and I suppose you could check up some videos on YouTube and stuff, but that's how versatile the air fryer actually is. But when it comes to heating water and stuff in it, I think it wouldn't be safe. So yeah, but I know what you mean about the microwave. Yeah, you could throw in kind of hot chocolate things and stuff like that. And it is look, microwaves are really handy, really handy. I'd never put anybody off one if that's the thing they want to get. But I do think they are, as regards making them accessible, I think they're on the downtrend, and I don't think companies are going to invest in microwaves going forward.
Yeah, an interesting point of view. Thank you so much, Raheem, for sending in that voice note. Really appreciate that as well. And as Joe said, very best of luck with the renovation. Big job, but yeah, hopefully it goes well for sure. Our third voice note this week is what I'm really excited about, because someone was answering the talking technology. I get to press the button now. The talking technology big question. Yes, someone answered our question, and we were asking, if you listened to last week's show, we were asking the question, would you be willing to pay for Alexa? And we had a message in from Edvard, who was saying that really it depends on the features.
Well, depends on what I have to pay for it. If it involves paying for Amazon Music, no, because I don't use this service at all. I mostly use YouTube Music on my Google Home. For the purposes I use the A-Lady is more kind of to have fun, like play games with it, and I did use the calling feature. So if I would have to pay for the calling feature as well, maybe I would pay then. So it depends really what service I'm mostly using. If I have to pay for the calls, I would. If I have to pay for the Amazon Music, I won't. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that really does answer the question. Joe, are you kind of similar train of thought?
Yeah, I think if I had to pay for it, I'm going to look like a tight gate here again. I don't think I would. I just moved to a different ecosystem. I think the other ones, like Google Home and less so Apple, the HomePod is probably, you could do most things with the other two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially Google Home. As regards paying for no, if it was very cheap, possibly, but I don't think there's anything there so vital that I couldn't do without it. Even though I do use it a lot. In fairness, like Apple Music, Edgar mentioned Apple Music, or no, he mentioned Amazon Music, sorry. I have Apple Music on my Amazon speaker, so it wouldn't be a big loss to me if they said to me, you can't get Amazon Music because I don't use it anyway, you know. So, but I push other services through the Amazon ecosystem. So, look, I just plug them all out, get rid of them, and use my other speakers.
Yeah.
If they started charging for a service that is just as good somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And Edvard said it there as well, like that he's using the Google Home. And I think, it's very easy to do something like that. Like we have Siri and the Amazon Echo devices in the house. And I do think it's going to get very competitive in that space over the next little while. Especially as AI moves forward and stuff like that. Apple aren't going to be left, just sitting there. They're going to definitely up their game, I'm sure, like WWDC in like 2-3 months' time. So I think it's going to be an interesting time, but I don't know whether Amazon are going to have the ability to charge for something like Alexa, because it doesn't have the same value in that respect as something like Prime Video does, or that something like even Amazon Music. But then again, people, I do guess, pay for Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Spotify and all those, even though YouTube Music is available for free. So I guess, there will always be people to pay. So who knows what will happen, I guess, Joe, isn't it?
Yeah, I know the free versions of any music service, though, are crippled by advertisements. Yeah, so I suppose we will all pay for one, if you know what I mean. Not all, but almost all. I pay for Apple Music, and I find I'm able to connect it with Sony devices, including the TV or my Amazon speaker or my the Apple HomePod or on my phone. And yeah, Apple Music works. I think Apple Music is the best quality because it works through all my devices that I use all the time. So as music is concerned, yeah, I wouldn't pay for the Amazon option for that reason. But if the AI got so good, they are thinking of bringing in a lot of new AI features, according to a few of the demonstration shows last year. They may or may not be worth paying for. Only time will tell. And we'll watch this space, David, and see how it goes. I'm not sure who muted or who vouched for paying for Alexa, but it was a rumour that was out last year. And I think they were probably putting feelers out there to see what people would say. And I think our general vote is no, I don't think we'll be paying for it.
No. Just use another smart speaker, I think, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering the question, Edvard. Really appreciate that. Hopefully we won't have to pay for Alexa anytime soon. But thank you to everybody who sent in voice notes this week. If you want to send in voice notes about something in this show, or maybe something else that you heard, anything at all, send us a message on WhatsApp to 086 199 0011. That's 086 199 0011. You can also send an email to content@vi.ie. That's content@vi.ie if you want to get in touch. Now, a new really cool topic that I must say I'm looking forward to. I heard bits of this earlier on. And I must say, this is one that I'm really excited by, because we have, and I've talked about this before, we have an Apple TV at home, but Mr. Joe Lonigan has a really cool piece of kit in the form of a Samsung Smart TV. And we're going to listen to a demo of some of the accessibility features and the screen reader on the Samsung Smart TV, of which there is a lot of different accessibility features. We'll go through that in a minute. But Joe, I'll ask you first, do you want to tell us a little bit about the TV that you have? What's it like?
David, the TV, it's a very thin flat screen TV from Samsung. It's called a Samsung S90C 55-inch OLED TV, so it's smart TV. It's a bit of a mouthful there, David, but I think it's a great TV. There's a great sound from the TV. They do give you an offer at the start if you want to buy a sound bar, but I think my sitting room is not overly large, and I think the sound is great from the TV. It also has a virtual assistant built in. You can switch, you can put two different virtual assistants on it, if not at the same time, of course, but you could activate the A-Lady on it, or you can use the built-in one, which is called Bixby. Bixby isn't as reactive as the Amazon virtual assistant, but it's still quite good. You get a lovely little remote, which charges via solar, believe it or not, but it's so cool. It's a nice little remote with not too many buttons on it and quite easy to learn. And as you see in my demonstration, you have a little facility in the TV which helps you learn the remote. And not all apps, the disappointing thing about smart TVs is not all apps are fully accessible, but they're accessible to a degree. Certain stock apps are more accessible than others. I find the YouTube app is brilliant on it. I find the Netflix app is average on it. The RTE app, it's a bit stickily not great. That kind of thing. Disney Plus is fine. Apple TV is quite good on it, but they're all a little bit slower than what you'd use on, we'll say, as you mentioned, an Apple TV, a separate set-top box plugged into the back. The separate set-top boxes are specifically made for the job, and they seem to be a little bit faster at with screen reader recognition. A screen reader lag. There's not that much lag in them, put it that way. There's a little bit of lag in the smart TVs themselves, especially when it goes into the apps. When it's working on the actual software or the operating system itself, it's fine, but when it goes into certain apps, it's like, hold on a minute and I'll catch up here in a second now when we're all fully loaded, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Let's take a listen then, I guess, to that really cool telly. I must say, I think a solar-powered remote is such a good idea. I wish everyone just did that. It would make life so much easier. The Apple TV remote, you still have to charge. But anyway, there you go. So this is the Samsung... what have we got here, Joe? The Q90C, is it?
It's the S90C.
S90C. The Samsung S90C. Here is the demo from Joe.
Hi guys, I'm here today to talk to you about the Samsung S90C 55-inch OLED Smart TV. That's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but we're going to let you hear what the TV sounds like, what the screen reader sounds like, and suss out some of the accessibility options and see is there anything out there that would suit you. So I have a little small remote here in my hand, and I'm going to turn it on now with the top left button, and here we go.
Smart Hub, 10 items, recent.
So it lands in a Smart Hub, which is your recent places are like your home of the TV, and I can access the accessibility option now by holding down this long button in the centre, on the left hand of the centre of the remote. So I'm going to hold it down now. Takes a few seconds.
Accessibility shortcuts, 21 items, voice guide on.
So it tells you there's 21 items in the list. Some of them are not, you cannot enable for some reason, but hopefully in updates it will allow. So the first option was voice guide.
Voice guide on. Voice guide off.
And I can turn it on or off by pressing the select button. I'm going to press it on again.
Voice guide on.
I go down through all these options and just have a quick chat about them.
Audio description off, disabled.
It says off, disabled for some reason, but when you plug in free to air from your satellite dish into the back of the TV, it still seems to work with audio description for some reason, so I'm not sure why it's disabled.
Picture off.
So picture off. You can turn picture off if you want to. This is probably suits someone that's totally blind and they don't need the picture on, but it can be a bit of a strange one to turn off your picture, but the option is there if you want to turn it off. It may save some electricity or something like that, or you mightn't want any glare coming from your TV, or you might just want to listen to music on your TV. So that might be a reason for turning the picture off.
Magnification off.
And before I go to magnification, the picture off thing, just to explain, it's very similar to screen curtain on your iPhone or screen shade on your JAWS laptop, and things like that. So
picture off. Magnification off.
Magnification does what it says in the tin. It magnifies things on the screen and makes everything a little bit bigger. And you can also customize this to suit yourself. So you could make it 1, 2, 3 times X, that kind of thing.
High contrast off.
High contrast, very good for anybody who loves having their screen mode in high contrast. And it's quite good when it's on a big TV because the TV quality is really, really good. And it's a really bright screen.
Zoom menu and text off.
So zoom menu and text screen. So any of your menus will be zoomed and the text on the menus will be zoomed. I have it turned off. I don't use them, but the option is there if you need them.
Grayscale off.
Grayscale, if you want everything in black and white. Some people love things in black and white. They can see things better. So you can turn grayscale on.
Color inversion off.
Color inversion, inverted color. So I suppose this means like you could suit the colours in your own way, as in you could have yellow on black for all your menus and stuff like that, or have everything in reverse in a negative kind of a mode. Some people can see things in colour inverted, when colours are inverted, a lot better, so that option is there as well.
See colors mode off.
See colors mode. I no need to use that. There is about 20 options when you go in there, so you could fiddle around with that one as well, if needed be.
Learn TV remote.
Learn TV remote. This is one of the very, very interesting one. Learn TV remote, because you get a remote out of the box. Most of the time you will not know what the buttons are for. You will probably guess to the top left or top right is turn on or off the TV, but if you want to learn the rest of them, you can select here.
Loading. Press a button on the remote control to hear voice information on it. Press the return button twice consecutively to return to the previous screen. If you press the power button, the TV turns off. With Samsung the Frame Smart TV, art mode is activated when the power button is pressed.
Excellent. So it gives us a summary of what this area is about. I'm going to press a couple of buttons now and see what these buttons are on the TV. So I'm going to press the bottom left on the thing and on the remote and see, will it tell me what that button is.
Netflix.
Excellent. I said it was Netflix. To see what the middle one is.
Disney Plus. Prime Video.
Brilliant. Right.
Play/pause. Smart Hub. Return. Press
Okay.
and hold to exit.
Okay, so I can. I think you said earlier you can double tap to return to exit, or we can press and hold. I'm going to double tap first.
Return. Accessibility guidance to
Oh.
items.
Okay.
Learn TV remote.
Okay.
Visually impaired users can hear audio description of the remote control functions. When you move the focus to the desired button, you will hear voice guide describe the button with the button expanded on the screen. To exit from this function, press the return button twice.
Brilliant. So we get a description of what it is when it came out there as well. So I think we have a fair idea what Learn the Remote is. And the next option is Learn Your Menus.
Menu learning screen.
Menu learning screen. Obviously, I could go deep into this, but I won't for today because it could take a while. But menu learning screen also really useful. So to help you learn all those menus and where to go and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to come out of that now and just give an example of what it sounds like when we're going around the home screen. I'm going to press home.
Smart Hub, 10 items, recent e-manual. Sidebar, 7 items, media, item 5 of 7. Connected devices, item 6 of 7.
So I'm pressing down arrow there and it shows me the connected devices. If I want to press right arrow, I can see what connected devices I have.
9 items, Smart Things, item 1 of 9. TV, item 2 of 9. Amazon Fire TV Stick, item 3 of 9. Press Apple TV, item 4 of 9. Press the down key. HDMI 4, item 5 of 9. Press the down key for more options.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention was we have a virtual assistant on this called Bixby, so we can ask it questions like we can turn up and down the volume, we can turn on or off the TV. I can just ask it about the weather.
Recent.
I'll ask it about the weather just to let you see what it sounds like. I'm going to hold down the button on the remote. I can hold down the button on the remote if I want to, or I can ask the TV out loud. So I'm going to ask it out loud actually. Hi Bixby. What's the weather like?
In Kilkenny, it is rainy and 12 degrees right now. Kilkenny 11:24 AM 12 degrees 13 degrees /7 degrees feels like 12 degrees. A good 26. Late light rain 12 kilometers per hour. Wind 78%. Humidity low 1 UV index 11 AM 12 degrees 4%. 12 PM 12 degrees 4%. 1 PM 13 degrees 3%. 2 PM 13 degrees 6%. 3 PM 13 degrees 15%. 4 PM 12 degrees 37%. More on the Weather Channel button. Tomorrow's forecast.
See, it rattled off everything from the screen. After it gave me the weather in Bixby's voice, it then also used
e-manual.
the screen. It also used the screen reader to read the weather, and which is fine. But you can stop at any time by pressing the back button on the remote. We can also launch apps with Bixby as well. So I'm going to use the button. There's a dictate button on the remote. So I'm going to say I'll open YouTube and see what it's like. Open YouTube.
VI Labs, the accessible technology channel at the Labs Tech, 245 subscribers. At VI Labs, we believe technology is the single greatest enabler for people with sight loss and all disabilities. We are part of Vision Ireland, which has been working for people with sight loss in Ireland for more than 90 years.
So
Our YouTube channel is the home of great tech content for people with sight loss, including our Talking Technology podcast, tech teacher videos, and reviews of all the latest gadgets. If you're looking for informed tech content from the perspective of people with sight loss, you found the right channel. Be sure to subscribe and double tap the bell for all the latest tech content from VI Labs. Play mix button 1 of 2.
Yes, so as you can see, it reads out a detailed description of what video is available there. So that was the last video I'd opened, so I can press select to play it. And I can press select again to pause it. I'm going to pause it in a second.
Welcome to Talking Technology with VI Labs. At VI Labs.
Video progress bar 11 seconds of 57 minutes, 51 seconds. Pause.
It's paused. So I can press down arrow and see what other suggestions are there as well.
Suggestions. Row. Best Steve and Maggie magic stories for kids of 20. Shaun the Sheep. Live Girls U16. Schools Cup final kill. One amazing player from every league. Chubsters. Building a private pool in a luxury underground house in one. Incredible Old Trafford thriller. Fire Manchester United 4-2-3 Liverpool Emirates FA Cup 20. 23-2-24
So,
the Emirates FA Cup new. 3,700,000 views.
I'll press home now
7 minutes, 55
to
seconds.
come out.
Smart Hub. 10 items. Recent.
So we can launch any app like with our voice. Also, the other thing I find really handy is if I want to access some of the HDMI ports, I can also say something like launch HDMI 3, and hopefully the Apple TV will open up.
HDMI 3 Apple TV.
And then I can turn on my Apple TV remote. And it takes a few seconds to launch. And here we go. I can see the TV changing.
Row 1, column 1, top shelf content available.
And there's the Apple TV voiceover screen that are cutting in.
Sociable soccer, row Netflix, row 3, column 1.
There's Netflix. I can select on Netflix.
Imaginative, Peter Rat, Hot Wheel, Coke, Spot Cat, TV, Mythical Creature, selected. App Store, row 2, TV, row 1, column 1, App Store, row 2, Netflix, row 3, column 1. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, because you watched Paddington, The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, selected, 2 of 6. Search, 1 of 6. Children, switch profile, 1 of 1.
There we go. I can select, I'm going to switch profile.
Children, 2 of 3. Joe, 1 of 3.
Select Joe.
Selected, pop play, button.
I'm using the D button on this, which is the directional button.
We think you love these. Safe, 1 of 75. Unforgotten, 2 of 75. Treason, 3 of 75. 50%.
As you can see, I can press the right arrow to go through my suggestions.
Ford v. Ferrari, 4 of 75. Stay close, 5 of 75. The Lincoln Lawyer, 6 of 75.
And to play any of those, I'd press the select button.
Play season 1, episode 1, button, 1 of 4. It's 1, E1 heat, rated 15 language, injury detail.
Words appear against a black background. A Netflix.
Pause it.
48, 46 remaining.
And A and East.
Paused. 48, 41 remain. Voiceover off.
Now I'll turn off voiceover just so it won't speak over me. So that's I suppose a good idea of what this Samsung S90C 55-inch OLED Smart TV sounds like. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm going to use Bixby now to turn off the TV. Hi Bixby, turn off the TV. And there you go. It makes a turn off sound, and that's a signature sound from Samsung. Hope you enjoy that. Thank you.
Do you know, I must say, I absolutely love the sound of that TV. It sounds so like natural or something. There's something quite nice sounding about it, I must say. Joe, I also have to hand you serious credit for those YouTube recommendations. VI Lab and Shaun the Sheep. That's some serious recommendations there. I love it.
It's quite embarrassing set of suggestions there, David. But people all know like what my watch history is all about now.
Look, we'll trust the kids. I'm sure they're watching the VI Labs content.
In fairness to him, I do love Shaun the Sheep as well.
Shaun the Sheep.
I thought it was because you watched Paddington Bear and like kudos for Paddington Bear. He's cool.
Yeah,
he's really cool.
Does Shaun the Sheep doesn't talk? Sure, he doesn't.
No, but there's really good audio description on Shaun the Sheep. So I give anyone, I give that man, and there's a lady as well, does audio description for Shaun the Sheep. Great credit. It's really good.
Fair play. We'll have to get them on the podcast, the audio describers for Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Joe, the TV, is there other kind of bits there that you think, you know, like, I guess one of the things that I'd be asking straight away is, like, it sounds absolutely class, but is it expensive?
Yes, it is expensive, David. There's no doubt about it. I know you can go out and buy smart TVs for €400 or €500 as well. but this one, it ranges between the 1,400 and 1,600 euros mark for this 55-inch. But in my opinion, it's worth it. I didn't change my last TV for 13 years, so I'd be hoping to get at least the same out of this one. But I can't see pictures very good, but look, for the family, it's great as well. The picture quality is brilliant. But the sound is very good out of it as well. I find there is other side options like S90C. Even the sound is even better, and there's a Samsung Frame Art TV. The sound is also great out of those. If sound is your thing, and you can buy Samsung sound bars with them. But look, talking about this TV only, I find it really good anyway, and I think the accessibility options are excellent on it. I know the screen reader could improve. I find, look, there is apps out there that it doesn't work with, and for those apps, I have an Apple TV. There's also a Fire Stick. Fire Stick's really cheap, as people know. You can get them anything from 40 to 80 euros. So for the apps that don't work on it, I kind of alternate to my other options. But in general, I can manage most of the apps on it. RTE Player does work on it, but it's like as if you have to open it and then press select twice, and you kind of get, I'd say, 70% of the information you need. You'll find live eventually if you arrow down, and you'll find watch now or what's on now kind of a thing, what's on now kind of an area by fiddling around with the app. But I think RTE could do better with lots of other apps. Maybe it's a lack of pressure from these companies, maybe to like the Samsung or people that have screen readers on. They might have to find a different way of getting them to improve their accessibility, or find a different standard, we'll say, to get these screen readers working on all these apps that go into the Samsung App Store. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. We had Dave Nason on from Sky recently, and he was saying something similar, that, like, you know, a lot of the and this was in relation to the Sky Glass TV, that you could kind of get a chunk of the information with Sky's voice guidance feature, but once you go into apps, it's a bit more of a struggle. And I think that's an interesting, maybe that's changed now. I don't honestly know, but I think it is better than the voice guide feature on the Sky TV. It does read more information, in fairness, but the Sky one is improving as well. So it's all good in the TV atmosphere at the moment, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it seems to be improving, which is great to see. More to be done, but certainly progress in the right direction, which we like to see. Outside of that, Joe, is there anything you think you'd like to see improve with the Samsung TV?
Yeah, I know they say they have far-field microphones on the TV. I find Bixby is a little bit slow to react. I think the Amazon A lady, when you activate her, is a little bit quicker to react on the TV than the actual Bixby one. Maybe it goes to a different server or something. But I find it annoying having the A lady on the TV, because I have an Amazon speaker in the kitchen, and it's open plan. And if somebody calls the smart speaker in the kitchen, it kind of dubs we'll say the feedback of voice from the TV, and it possibly could change the channel or do something you don't want it to do, because it can cut across it, and I think it confuses everything. That's why I use Bixby on the TV and not the A lady, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's a bit too much of a crossover for me.
If the telly's off, does Bixby work, or do you have to have the telly on first? Can you say, for example, Bixby, turn on the telly, or do you have to have the telly turned on first?
Oh, that's a good point, David. Yes, you can turn on the TV with Bixby, which is quite good for anybody who has maybe some extra difficulties. They mightn't have use of fingers or something like that. You can use your voice to control a lot of different areas on the TV, voice only. Like YouTube, for example, you can say play Neil Diamond videos on YouTube, and they'll actually start playing straight away. So there's no need to use the remote at all. Yeah, and then you can turn the volume up with your voice as well. So you could, if you aren't happy with 15, you can turn it up to 30, and you have quite loud speaker available to you playing your music from the TV. You can you can also do searches. It'll bring up, there's a little browser on it. You can do searches and do kind of Google searches, if you know what I mean. What else could you do on it? Yeah, there's loads of little things you can investigate for yourself. You can actually search for apps as well. For example, if you didn't have Virgin Media Player on it, you can say launch Virgin Media Player and it'll try and search the App Store if it doesn't have it on the TV already. And you can press select twice on your remote and it'll install the app, and then you can mess around with the app then and see if they're accessible for yourself and play away on it. Also, one more thing I suppose it's really good for is, well, apart from the Apple Music app and stuff, that's quite good on it. Spotify is quite good on it as well. They're fairly accessible, I think. And but you can look at your pictures. You can put your pictures on as a screensaver or slideshows. And because it's such a clear picture and it's 55 inches, if someone had some low vision, it's a great way to look through your photo memories. And that's quite good for that too, David.
That's a really interesting one. And there are absolutely people who like to do that. You know, they might send WhatsApp photos. A common one that I'd see is people sending WhatsApp photos over to an iPad to make it a little bit easier to see. This kind of brings that up to a next level. And sure, you could do that with an Apple TV, but here it might be a bit more integrated. So yeah, absolutely very cool. Are there any final thoughts you have on the TV, Joe? It sounds very tempting, if also a bit expensive.
Yeah, final thoughts. If you're in the market for a TV and you're willing to pay that kind of price for one, I definitely would recommend the S90C. I think it's a great TV, and it's quite easy to put in external devices into the HDMI port at the back. You can also put your satellite connection straight into the back of the TV if you want to get the free-to-air channels like Channel 4, ITV, BBC, all those ones, and it works quite well. And it also has a TV EPG guide which reads out the names of the channels as you down arrow through them, or up arrow or down arrow through them. So it'll say Channel 4, MasterChef or whatever's on at that time, and if audio description is turned on, it will start playing the audio description. So I would recommend it. Some of the cheaper Samsungs are, we'll say, LED, the less expensive screens, they will have the same operating system. So you will get, as long as it says Smart TV on it, you will get the same options, more or less, on some of the cheaper models as well, David. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, good to know. One final question that I have there, Joe. Can Bixby turn on or off audio description on request?
No, I don't think so, no. And okay, there is a little thing that says audio description disabled or something. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Yeah.
But once you enable it inside the apps and stuff like Netflix already in your account, it will be enabled, or Disney Plus or Apple TV. So inside your profile or personal account, you can enable audio description. But I find that the audio description comes through anyway through the free-to-air channels. So I will have to suss out that one a little bit more about the audio description. But in general, people seem to get their channels through external devices like Sky Q or we'll say set-top boxes. So you'll have to enable the audio description through your set-top boxes if you're going that direction, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Joe, thank you so much. It's a great demo, and thank you very much for doing it. It's a really interesting product, and bit on the pricey side, but as you said, and we were saying it when responding to voice notes earlier, if you're going into these kind of things and like you want something that's going to last for a long period of time, sometimes you are better to spend that money and just get something that's really good and that is going to, won't feel sluggish in 10 years time or 15 years time, So a really interesting product. And Joe, thanks for showing it off. We'll have tech news up next. But before we do, a reminder that if you want to get in touch, maybe you want to tell us about the TV products you have, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. You can send us a WhatsApp voice note to 086 199 0011 or send us an email to content@vi.ie. But for now, it's over to tech news.
This is Talking Technology News.
Hello, with your latest Talking Technology News, I'm Daniel Dunn. One of the world's biggest assistive technology conferences in the form of CSUN is taking place in the States this week. All the major players in the assistive technology space attend the CSUN conference, and it is also home to many big announcements. Sony have been showing off a customizable adaptive controller for the PlayStation 5, while Envision have been giving people their first chance to try a new product called the Envision Assistant. Outside of all the announcements, CSUN also gives assistive technology companies and those working in the industry great opportunities to network, which may lead to exciting innovations down the road. It's exciting to see so many assistive tech announcements, so hopefully some of this tech goes on to have a big impact. In other news, the team at Be My AI continue to innovate and have been rolling out more new features. You can now share a link to a chat with a friend and they can read the chat back using a web interface. They can also see any images in the chat, so they will have full context to the conversation. The person can't pick up where you left off, so really this is just a handy way to share the history of a chat with someone else. Currently, if you want to delete the history of a chat, you are required to contact the Be My Eyes team by email. Shared links can't be deleted within the app. Separately, the company have moved to their specialised help function to its own tab at the bottom of the screen and have rebranded it to become the Service Directory. In Ireland, at least, the Service Directory seems to be a complete replica of the old specialised help section, and there doesn't appear to be any new services added. Maybe this will change in the future, but regardless, it is good to see this function getting its own dedicated tab within the app. Be My Eyes is continuing to evolve, which is really brilliant to see. Who knows what will come next? Finally, for now, Dr. Lucia Pintado Guterres, a lecturer and researcher at Dublin City University, is collaborating with Vision Ireland on a project titled The Challenges of Audio Description in Ireland. The project is being funded by the Irish Research Council. Vision Ireland and DCU are conducting a survey to gauge people's thoughts on how to use audio description, its quality, and the levels of audio description available across different platforms and environments. The questionnaire is completely anonymous, and you can withdraw from the process at any time. It is a great opportunity to share your thoughts, as this feedback will hopefully be used to improve the provision and awareness of audio description services in Ireland. You can find full details of the survey in the latest edition of the Tech on Tap newsletter, with links which are also available on the Vision Ireland social media channels. But that's it for now. If you want to share your thoughts on any of the stories in this week's news, just send us a WhatsApp voice note to 086 199 0011. But for now, it's back to you, David.
Thanks, Daniel. Really good survey to get that information gathered and so on. I did it the other night, and it's a quick enough survey. It's a lot of just tick the boxes and stuff like that. So really do encourage people to do that. Absolutely. Daniel, Be My Eyes getting a new sharing link feature. Why do you think this is, or how do you foresee this being used?
Yeah, I think it's a nice new feature. I think, maybe it can be used, maybe in some workplaces, for sharing bits of work and development that way, just making sure that what the responses are correct, and maybe showing it for somebody else to give their approval, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, in family and friends, just sharing across things, even for jokes and things. I think sending stuff across social media as well. I think there's definitely going to be a use for it in these scenarios. So it's great to see it there.
Yeah. Do you see it having much of an impact in, like, we're working obviously as technology trainers as well. Like, do you see it having much of an impact around how we could provide, technology support in the future and so on? Or support, I guess, across industries. It's not just like, sure, we focus on technology, but across the board, is there scope for this to become more integrated with people's support, help desks and so on?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think there definitely is going to be a function for that. I think when you let something like this out for everybody to use it, you're gonna hear back some quirky stories, and somebody will find something cool to do with it, or some new way of doing something. So it's going to be amazing to see how it's going to be used by different people out there. But definitely the potential of it is great, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. It's something that ChatGPT has had for a while, but is now coming to Be My Eyes. The core difference is that in the Be My Eyes version, you're not able to continue on with the chat from where the other person left off. It's just a kind of a catch up and read up on what they went through. But shall we listen to a demo of it, Daniel, and how it works?
Let's go for it.
Alrighty, so here is a demo of how the new how you can now share a link to a Be My AI conversation. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how you can share a chat with the new Be My Eyes update. So I'm in a photo here. It's just the Talking Technology logo. So I'm going to go to Share.
Share button.
And double tap.
One photo selected.
And I am going to find
Copy photo.
Describe with Be My Eyes.
Add to album. AirPlay. But use as wallpaper. Copy iCloud link. Export unmodified origin. Create watch face. Assign to contact. But print button. Add to new quick notes. Save to files. But describe with Be My Extract. Describe with Be My Eyes.
There
button.
we go. And I'm going to double tap.
Describe with cancel button. Please wait. Be My AI is writing a message. Please wait. Be My AI is writing a message.
And we give it its time.
Be My AI is still writing a message.
And we give it some more time.
Be My AI, the image. Be My AI, the image is a graphic with a dark blue background and a network of white lines connecting dots, creating a mesh-like pattern. At the center, there's a large white microphone icon. Above the microphone, in bold orange letters, it reads Talking Technology. Below the microphone, in white letters against a dark blue ribbon, it says Vision Ireland.
That's our logo for sure. So what you can now do is and obviously you can still ask questions and do all the things that you normally would, but there's a new button in the top right corner of the app.
More button.
So there's a more button. If I double tap.
Share, but dismiss context, share.
There
button.
we go. I've got a share button. So I can now double tap this share button, which is totally new.
Cancel button.
And I get a new little pop-up here.
Share a link to the chat.
Share a link to the chat.
Anyone with the link will be able to view your shared chat, including pictures. Messages sent or received after sharing your link will not be shared. If you want to delete this link after sharing, please contact us at info@bemias.com.
That's really strange that you have to actually contact them if you want to delete, your chat history and stuff. You would think that will be an app, but maybe that will come down the line. But for now, I'm just going to flick right.
Share link button.
And share link. I'll just double tap.
Share link.
And then
Messages
you
button.
pretty much just get the normal share sheet, but you can
Copy button.
do all the normal things that you would do with a link, basically. So you can copy.
Add to new quick note button.
Add to a quick note. You can do all the things. You can also send it in messages.
Messages, mail button, notes button, reminders button.
All those different things that you normally would, you can just do, and it brings you with a link to basically just Be My Eyes website. It's share.bemyeyes.com or something like that. And there someone can view the chat and its pictures and so on. A really interesting new feature from Be My Eyes. You'd wonder how it's going to be used, but there you go. It's a new feature for what it's worth. And there you have it. Yeah, I must say, Daniel, I'm a little unsure as to how I would find a use for it, but you make a valid point that when you put these features out there, there are going to be people who will find a use for it. And there's someone out there listening, I'm sure, who's probably thinking, that's exactly what I need right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Often, it's often things that you think are done for one purpose and that you get taken up totally the other way, and that becomes the main way they're used,
Yeah.
Like I say, or even stuff that you think is going to go one way, and next somebody else will just use it, and complements the whole concept. So it's brilliant. People are brilliant in what they can find a use for.
So will Be My AI comedy become a thing?
Hard to know.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
Who knows?
Let's watch this space.
Absolutely. Joe, do you see yourself using this feature much?
David, maybe it's a case of your chat history. How did you get to the result that you got? And at least you can say to people, well, I sent Be My AI this picture, then I asked this question, and then I got this answer. That could be for even a complicated graph or an Excel sheet or something like that even. So I think there will be uses for it. I'd say it's more deep and complex than we think. And your follow-up question there was about Be My Eyes comedy or ChatGPT comedy. I think it's out there already. There is some Facebook groups that send in funny descriptions of things that have been described, and I think it's all a bit of fun there as well. And I look, Be My Eyes is changing actually every week now at this stage.
It is.
They're adding new features on. You have Mike Buckley coming out talking about it in different podcasts and stuff, and he's telling people watch this space. And he even said that Be My Eyes is coming to Microsoft, because there is occasions you're on the computer, you're not on your phone, and you want that picture described. There will be a Be My AI app for describing that photo or chart or Excel sheet or whatever it is you come across on the digital world, that you're not always on the phone, David. So
absolutely,
it's going to happen.
It's true. And you mentioned, and it was only when you mentioned graphs there, Joe, I was thinking about this could actually, now that I think about it, have a lot of implications around, say, homework, for example. Because one of the things that, and I'm sure they still do it, but when I was back in school, you were always drilled in, show your work. And this, I guess, enables a visually impaired or blind student to do that in a more effective way now. If they're getting information about a graph, it lets the teacher see, well, this is actually the information that they were given, and, this is the information that they were working with. They can prove that now with a link that they can presumably just store maybe it's in a Word document with their homework or something like that. There's probably, benefits in that too. Daniel, you work on the children's team a little bit too. Do you see that being of benefit to teachers in the school setting?
Yeah, possibly there, but but it is, as you say, like showing my work, and still you want the students doing the bulk of the work themselves. You don't want them turning to, ChatGPT or any of
but
these
even
at
to
the
get
time.
a
But
graph
there's definitely is a
described.
purpose. As you say, there is a niche for it. I don't think it'll become the rule in it, but certain scenarios will warrant it.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get an understanding, it's okay. I think to get your answers, it's not okay. But
that's probably a better way
of
of saying what I was trying to
that's
make out, Joe.
Yeah.
I also think it's good for blind parents, David, maybe to understand what homework is being sent home. So I've often taken a picture of homework that Luke has got. He's 8 years of age, and I suppose, rather than getting him to explain it, which can be doubly frustrating for a child, if I could take a picture of the homework first, get Be My AI, the best describer in the world, I suppose, better than most humans at this stage, to describe the homework, and then I can help him do his homework, or give him help him understand his homework.
Yeah, that's a really valuable, I think, for parents. That's such a big deal, isn't it? And yeah, it just shows like Be My AI has really changed the game in every respect from an assistive technology standpoint. And we're seeing now like things like, and you covered it in the newsletter last week, I think it was, Joe, that JAWS is catching up with Picture Smart. And it's great to see stuff like that. But
in fairness to JAWS and Freedom Scientific, they did come out in 2019 with a version of Picture Smart that done a decent job. Not very good, but a decent job. Yeah. It did tell you, say there was a house with two windows, grass in front of it, and maybe a what color things were, and put some tags on the picture, but it didn't give you detail. We'll say that detail that blind people and vision impaired people love, some details.
Yeah.
Gives us a better picture in our mind. But with Picture Smart AI, they're going to use ChatGPT and the Google Gemini version. There might be a conflict there, but in general, the early signs are the results are amazing from Picture Smart with JAWS as well.
That's really, really good to hear. And it's great now that like JAWS is able to do that in the sense that they have a subscription model now. Certainly in the States, they have a subscription model, so it becomes more sustainable to do stuff like that. It's an interesting one as to how that'll work long term. You buy JAWS once, will you still have access? Will they still pay for your GPT use in 10 years time? That's going to be interesting to see. But massive credit to the team over at Freedom Scientific and Vispero on that. It is good to see screen readers pushing things forward, because there are still so many people using JAWS and NVDA and screen readers like it. So awesome stuff. Daniel, thank you so much for bringing us the news this week. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And it is now time for some quick picks.
It's time for VI Labs Quick Picks.
And we've got one simple quick pick for this week, and that is Siri Shortcuts. Joe, do you want to tell us a little bit about what Siri Shortcuts are?
Yes, David, Siri Shortcuts. Anyone has an iPhone, a Siri Shortcuts app was introduced a few years ago, and it can be a really useful tool for somebody that sets up some shortcuts. For example, you can set up a shortcut for turning on or off lights, or launching certain apps, or things like that. And I noticed there's lots of apps out there now that when you go in and do a task, they'll say, would you like to set this up as a shortcut? For example, the RTE radio player app. They probably recognize it's a little bit difficult to get around at times and find that play button. They have an option there. Would you like to set up playing RTE Radio 1 as a shortcut? And then I can either hold down the home button or the side button on my iPhone and say play RTE Radio 1. I know it'll probably try and play it from tuning in anyway, but it's using the shortcut. I've also used that shortcut in conjunction with backtap, because you can get the backtap feature, which is another feature in settings, in the touch part of settings down the very bottom. You can go into backtap, then you can scroll all the way down until you get the shortcuts and set backtap as one of your Siri shortcuts. And then once I enable this, that allows me to tap the back of my phone, and I can, if rather than talking into my phone, say it was late at night or too early in the morning or something, I can just tap the back of my phone and RTE will play in my ears, RTE player or some other app that has enabled or linked in with shortcuts. The other suggestion I had for Siri Shortcuts was recognize currency. So if you wanted to, we'll say recognize currency really quickly and with no messing about, you just pull the note out of your wallet, say to Siri, say to your phone, Siri, recognize currency. That's one of the ones that are labeled inside the app, recognize currency. The Scene AI app will open straight away with the camera, and you hold the note in front of your camera, and straight away it will recognize currency. And it's really quick and a fantastic little shortcut. And the other thing I was going to mention, David, is there is a list of shortcuts available inside the Shortcuts app, and it's in the gallery section. So go into gallery, you have multiple shortcuts there, and there's also going to be a few suggestions there for you. The phone recognizes what you do the most and tells you which things will work with Siri Shortcuts. You could pick one of those, or you can go through the gallery, which have been created by Apple and also many people in many people's user cases, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I've used many shortcuts for many different things. One of the things I love about Siri Shortcuts is you can just automate anything. You can set, HomeKit scenes, for example, using Siri Shortcuts. You could have a button, like on the lock screen, or like it's literally like an app on your lock screen, for example, that you double tap it, and if you have all the right HomeKit accessories, it turns off the lights, locks the doors, turns off the telly, and away you go. Like stuff like that. It's just really like versatile, because you can automate so much with it.
Yeah, if you had a robot vacuum there for a while, and I was able to tap the screen on my phone because I had a shortcut called Start Vacuuming, and it was just great. And then there's other cool little shortcuts, like there's one in the gallery I've seen called Say Cheese. So it's already set up for you. All you have to do is enable the shortcut, and you hold down the Siri button on your phone and just say cheese, and it'll take a picture for you.
That's so cool.
It just opens the camera and automatically takes a picture, and it makes taking pictures really quick. If there was that moment you wanted to capture, just take a picture and save it in your photo gallery. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much out there, and I'd really, recommend just have a look around. Even another one that I've used at times was one that you could log your, and I didn't stick with this because I wasn't, religious enough with it, but for logging water intake. I had a shortcut there, that my wild intention was anytime I'd take a drink, I'd press this button and then I'd get a pop-up. How much did you drink, David? And you could log it, and then it would log it in the health app and stuff like that. Didn't do anything for me, to be honest with you. But if you're more disciplined than me, by all means, go for it. There's so much you can do with Siri Shortcuts, and you can also set up automations to happen when the your iPhone is plugged in, or when it's plugged out, or when the battery hits a certain percentage, when it taps an NFC tag, when it connects to Wi-Fi, when it disconnects to Wi-Fi, anything you could possibly think of.
When you leave the house, David, or when you're getting close to home, the heat might come on, all this kind of stuff. It's great. Some, as you said, taking the drinks of water, some shortcuts are just more useful than others.
Absolutely. Very true. Joe, thank you so much for that. Really do recommend trying out those Siri Shortcuts. There's so much out there. And there is truly a world to explore. But for now, that is it for this week's Talking Technology. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you do want to get in touch with us over the next little while, by all means, send us an email to content@vi.ie, or send us a WhatsApp voice note to 086 199 0011. That's our show. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But for now, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Talking Technology podcast with VI Labs. If you'd like to support our show, please visit vi.ie/donate. Talking Technology is proudly sponsored by IA Labs, the market leader in digital accessibility services. IA Labs, digital inclusion, your legal obligation.